What?
Good evening, everyone. Brother Marcus here. Right
Come
back
on,
at you.
somebody. It's Brother Marcus.
Yes. And I am joined by my congregation. Members of my congregation. I got Donovan, D-Man.
Pastor, I want to thank you so much, Pastor, for inviting me today. I am so excited for this, Pastor. Will you lay hands on me?
Hey, glory to God. Glory to God.
Wait,
And then we got Sister Brother Shane. Brother, Mother Shane. Mother Shane.
Jesus. Hey.
They kind of spit early. Oh, man. Oh. Anyway, guys.
We're having a revival. This is great.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, man.
First revival in show history, the greatest revival.
All right. So,
What do you got for us, Marcus?
so earlier today, we uncovered a tweet by our Mr. James Gunn of now DC Studios, and he tweeted a picture of Kingdom Come by Alex Ross.
Absolutely.
And he said, "Making plans." Period. And that's all he left us. And just prior to that, actually, yesterday, we were all kind of talking, me, Frank, and Paul, we were talking about like how should James Gunn go about setting up the DCU going forward. And we found it interesting that he might be doing something from an Elseworlds title. And that would kind of make sense given that Marvel kind of did that same thing with Iron Man, because nobody really cared about Tony Stark or Iron Man until Robert Downey Jr. kind of just knocked it out of the park. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was a thing, you know? And so I'm wanting to ask the panel, what do they think? What do you guys think if James Gunn should do with the DCU going forward?
I think I'm going to get my meager opinion out of the way because I know Donovan is going to shoot it down.
Have a Donovan review.
And make me look like a child.
No.
So.
No, what are you doing? No.
I think if he's going to choose a starting point, go all the way. Go as far back as you possibly can. I think a Flash of Two Worlds would be a lot of fun. If you could somehow modernize it and keep it kind of old school, you know what I'm saying? It's a Barry Allen joint. Right, you know, you could do the Barry Allen thing. You could do the Jay. What's the other guy? What was the helmet Flash's name?
Jay Garrett.
Jay Garrett.
Yeah, Jay Garrett.
I thought it was just it's a really interesting start to Crisis. It pretty much kicked off any kind of crossover for DC at that point. It's the first one you could think of, you know, easily. And I thought it was absolutely, it was a good story. I think it's written well. If he does it correctly, the way it should be done, I think that that's a great jump off point, because they have to put out a Flash eventually of some sort. When are they going to put this Flash out? Is there any news on Flash? Does anybody know?
I think they dropped a trailer today at the Brazil Comic Con.
Okay.
They have, or maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. It's a rumor, but we still haven't seen it yet.
Right.
So,
So if if the next movie is Flash that he doesn't have anything to do with, if he wants to clean up that image, he could really make it, you know, he could just shoot it right out of a cannon.
Right.
And do this, you know, do a Flash of Two Worlds. But that's just my opinion on the whole smear. What do you think, Don?
I think the launching point should be this. It'll either be this first Flash movie,
right?
That we're gonna get coming up.
It's coming up
whenever. I think in July or August or whatever. I don't know.
Of 2036.
2041.
We're going to have to become Flashes ourselves to go run and go see it.
It's crazy, dude. I think that this Flash movie with Ezra Miller, directed by Andy Muschietti,
good director,
is going to be the launch point for the DCU going forward. Which means that they are really putting a lot of faith in this movie.
They really are.
The case. When I saw the picture, I initially got very excited because Kingdom Come is probably one of my favorite series ever written.
It's amazing.
Even the artwork by Alex Ross is it's uncanny. I mean, you can't get anywhere near as perfect as that storyline, but there's a lot going on in that storyline.
Not only that, you're going to have to
how you going to introduce Magog or whatever his name is.
Yeah, you have to introduce.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we going to show Joker kill Lois Lane and the entire Daily Planet staff? Like, how are you going to do that?
Yeah, you would have to find an older Bruce Wayne. You'd have to find a older Billy Batson, Supes, everyone.
Yeah,
the entire DC universe, literally, because I think he pretty much tried to put as many people in the universe in that story.
Right.
In some,
not only that, the Spectre was a huge part of that story.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to introduce the Spectre and really tell people what he does. You should come out with a Spectre movie if you're going to do that.
Exactly.
The Spectre was one of my favorite characters.
Maybe what's his name? DC. Ian McDermott. You know, the one who played the Emperor. Maybe he can be the Spectre.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Interesting.
Yeah, he does a great cloak wearing mysterious person.
I will say this though,
pasty
James Gunn. I hope they're paying him 3 boatloads full of money.
Yeah,
because he has to fix everything that happened previously to him.
Right,
and he's got to get rid of these. Save the Snyder Cut people.
Right.
He's got to eliminate that.
They're just bots, though. They're just bots.
Right. They're bots. But
thank you, Russia.
There are more people out there who want Zack Snyder. There are more people who we want Snyder. And
Snyder Cut good.
Speaking of which, we get Red Sun.
Oh, right. That would be cool.
I mean, we haven't even gotten like anything like that in the DC. I would love to see something like that.
So basically, some Elseworld stuff. Maybe take a break from kind of like the mainline characters, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and kind of focus on some alternative realities and something like that.
I don't think that this DC universe has given the foundations to all the characters that we love. Maybe Superman might be the only one because we got his origin story, but Batman, who's Batman in the DCU?
Right. You would have to see his parents get shot in the behind.
Well, I don't even think we need to get to see his parents get shot again, but because we've seen it so many times.
Right.
Again, I hearken back to my point about we didn't see Spider-Man get bit by a spider in Tom Holland's first Spider-Man movie, but we understood that he was bit by a radioactive spider and got powers from it. Right. Well, we know Bruce Wayne's parents are shot. He's a billionaire. He goes away for a long time, comes back, fights the very people who were trying to.
Nobody at this point can do an origin story on any of these characters.
Right.
With
how many times do I got to see Superman fly down into a cornfield? Like we get it, we know.
Right.
What we don't have are, and I'll make an exception for Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Because we got a great Wonder Woman. The first movie, the second one is absolute dog trash. But the first one was good, and I loved that movie. I love what they put out forward, but like. We didn't get a Flash. Like all these characters were introduced in Batman v Superman.
Right.
Aquaman was good.
Yeah, I think the only thing we really got was to bring up the Snyder Cut again. Like Snyder Cut actually gave Flash and Cyborg kind of the treatment that they needed. That 4-hour jobby, that they So that's why the first rendition of Justice League when it was put out was so disjointed. Like we're just like, who are these characters
and then you watch
again?
the Snyder Cut, and there's that whole sequence with the Flash when we first see him, and he's in the pet store, and you're like.
Yeah.
It's what the heck? And with that song going at the same time, and him picking her up and putting her down. And, dude, it was beautifully done. I was like, oh my God. And then everything was Cyborg that we got to see with his dad. And then when when mother boxes go crazy and he goes in and he sees his dad and his mom and that whole stuff was great. Like, but they all had to put that in a movie that was actually never really theatrically released.
So it's almost it's almost like the Snyder Cut did give more of an element of importance to both Flash and Cyborg. But how about this then? Why don't we just start with a crisis then?
I think that might be the route.
Just a big bang and just do Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah. That would be a great DCU way of just rebooting and resetting everything that went prior, even Batman 89, Michael Keaton, even if you wanted to do it that way, and just kind of say, okay, this is who we have going forward. This is what we're going to do. We might leave the big three, the Holy Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, to the end, and maybe work our way, from outside the peripheral characters in. Maybe. What do you think?
It's definitely listen. I think everybody at this point, especially if you're the novice comic book fan, I know you want to see the norm. You want to see
Right.
the Superman, the Batman. But if he can do this correctly, he can bring those secondary and third characters out.
And that's great that you say that, because I was thinking about, like, God, it would be good to get a Batman movie that was like 3 or 4 years into his career, maybe even a little bit more, but maybe like 6 or 7, because there are some things where, you know, Batman is not used as much because Bruce Wayne is giving his resources to the city. And the city is flourishing because of Bruce Wayne, not because of Batman. And Batman is sort of a last resort when things aren't going well, or if there's a proportional response as far as Penguin and some of these high profile bad guys. I would love to see a story where Batman has to come back because he sees the death of the Grayson family. And he, like in Batman Forever, kind of, he brings in Robin, he brings in Dick, and he says, I'm going to help you solve this crime. He's the world's greatest detective. Who killed them? Who killed his parents? And
that would be amazing.
But the only difference, but the only difference is that he tells them right out of the gate, like, I'm going against all my moral code for all of this. You deserve to know this because my parents died too. I watched my family die. I'm Batman.
Right.
And I'm going to help solve this. But what I need from you is to stay in this house. Don't leave.
Don't do anything rash.
Everything Alfred says. But then Alfred is the guy who goes, let me show you what I trained him with. And then finally we get to see Robin. We've never gotten a good Robin. And that way, like, come on, can we give us a good Robin? Nightwing? We go to Bloodhaven? Like,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to be
Robin. You should keep that name.
It's the worst part of that movie. And I love that movie.
I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, though.
Dude, people applauded when that happened in the movie. And when they got done applauding, I went, boo! Because it's stupid. Anyway.
Robin. You should know what that name, Robin.
And he's like,
that's too funny.
Wink. Yeah.
All right. So,
yes, Crisis on Infinite Earths should be a thing that starts off, and then after that, they all go back to their respective homes, and we see what's the aftermath of that crisis. I think
could they start with Kingdom Come as a beginning of a story? Like,
not really. I think that would be a standalone.
Yeah, they're retired superheroes.
Right.
But you know the movies. Like the movies, they'll do something wacky to where this is where this ends up. You want to see, let's rewind 10 years in the 10 years in the past, and then it winds up with Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come is like a pinnacle of comic books. It's not something that's like the Infinity Gauntlet where you can kind of like play around with it a little bit as far as, but that Kingdom Come, the story that's being told in there is much more deep than people actually realize.
So,
I realized it. It got me.
Yeah.
That one got me.
Yeah. One last comment because we have to wrap things up. But I will say that, Mark Waid has said that he definitely was in second seat with that story. It was Alex Ross. He loves the characters. He wanted to paint them, and Mark Waid kind of wrote a story to work with it.
Wow.
And he has said, he was like, would Kingdom Come? He was asked the question actually, would Kingdom Come work without Alex Ross? And he said no, not at all.
It's so grandiose.
Yeah,
it really
not
is.
at all. Period. Full stop. He was like, no. I kind of he kind of took what Alex Ross gave him and kind of made a story from it, and that is a true testament to just how well Mark Waid is as a writer too. I mean, my goodness. I mean, he's
every panel you could hang it on your wall.
Yeah, it's true.
This is true.
It's so true.
One of
There's my favorite panel for some reason in that comic book is when Diana goes to visit him on his farm, and he's on the roof of his farm, and he's like lifting heavy things.
Yeah, like a giant thing, and isn't he in overalls?
And he's in overalls, and he's got a beard and white hair. I was like, oh, this is Daddy. This is Superman Daddy. This is awesome.
That is great.
He's retired.
I was for some reason that image always stuck in my mind. Like, oh my God, Superman can get old.
Yeah,
and still be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
guys, well,
what?
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. We'd like to definitely know what you think, which James Gunn and his DC Studios new position, what he should be doing with the DCU moving forward. What would you like to see? What would you like to see moving forward? Would you like to see some of these more obscure characters start getting some more spotlight attention versus the main ones? What do you think? Let us
Give me
know.
a Spectre movie immediately. Stat.
Give me a Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ollie. Yeah. Take care, guys.
Bye. We love you. Pasty redheads forever.